Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. You know it, this couple just can't help themselves. So it looks like an old friend was called in to take photos of a sighting for Meghan and Harry. So Daily Mail is in receipt of photos that were taken by Carl Larson, who many of you know was the one who took the original photos of Thomas Markle Sr. as part of the alleged setup by Coleman Rayner. It has been alleged that Meghan was the one who actually set this all up in order to have a reason to not invite her father to the wedding. It's a known fact that Meghan has called on Jeff Rayner, Coleman Rayner, before to take photos of her doing stuff outside in LA. Keep in mind that Carl Larson used to work for Jeff Rayner, and he was also the one who took the up-close personal photos of Meghan Markle for Polo. Carl Larson was used once again for this staged paparazzi shoot to show the world that her and Prince Harry are doing just fine, looking all happy and living their best life. I mean, seriously, Meghan, with all that money you supposedly have, can't you just buy an iron or a steamer? My God, sometimes I wonder if this woman has a funhouse mirror inside her head, because how can you leave the house looking so wrinkled and as if you just rolled out of bed? Like, this look looks terrible. So the article says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were all smiles during their first public outing since their eviction from Frogmore Cottage, it has emerged. Harry and Meghan were spotted holding hands, smiling, and laughing as they left an office building in Santa Barbara, California on Friday. It is unknown what business the pair had been visiting in the complex, which houses several firms, including a karate studio, hair salon, Pilates studio, and the Self Inquiry Life Fellowship, which promotes a higher yoga and Himalayan meditation. Meghan and Harry appeared to be in great spirits as they left the office building and walked to their car. The Duchess sported brown canvas shorts, a crisp white button down shirt, flat sandals, large dark sunglasses, and straw fedora for the outing. Harry stepped out in blue trousers, a polo shirt, baseball cap, and sunglasses. The couple were seemingly sharing a joke and laughed despite their recent eviction and apparent misfortunes in the entertainment industry. Okay, so this is my opinion. I don't believe this article for 1 second. As we have had evidence in the past of Meghan creating these false narratives, I believe and feel, based off of the article and these photos, that this was another crafted narrative that Meghan wants the world to believe. Meghan was with her bodyguard, Chris Sanchez. Harry, though, on the other hand, was without Mr. Baldy. The article specifically says the couple were accompanied by an unidentified man presumed to be a member of their security detail, aka Chris Sanchez. A couple of things. One, Carl Larson is on the scene taking photos, so we all know that Meghan had facilitated this. Number two, the Daily Mail had scattered the photos. They weren't actually put in the article in order. When you put them in order, here's what you see. It looks like such a bright and sunny day, doesn't it? Now, when you look at these photos, as you can see, the ones with them walking away, the sun is gone, as well as the shade as to where, if you see the so-called person that looks like Harry, is. To me, this gives me the indication that this photo shoot had been going on and they were taking photos, perhaps at different times of the day. Clearly, you can see there's a vast difference within the lighting. Now, it does look like that Harry went around the back, as you can see there, and Meghan stayed on that side. But if you notice, look how far away Meghan is from actually going to the car. Now, right after that photo, if you see the caption below it, in where Meghan is in the car, it says Meghan is pictured inside the car on Friday as Harry gets into the vehicle from the other side. So they want you to believe this, but this is 1000% a lie. As you can see with Meghan in the car, they want you to believe that Harry went around the other way, according to those photos, and he's getting into the same car. This is what they want you to believe. They deceived the reader. Because when you take this photo and you flip it, you realize that the car that Meghan is in is the one actually in this photo. Notice where the tree trunk is, notice where the fence is, and notice where that pole is. As you can see, this clearly was a photo that they flipped. Harry did not get into the same car with Meghan. And to be honest, I don't even believe that that is Harry. And that's my opinion. Based off of all the shenanigans and all the lies that this woman has told, I wouldn't put it past her to create some sort of optic that her and Harry are doing just fine and looking happy as ever to deflect from all the negative and bad press that they recently have gotten. Let's not forget that last year at the Queen's Jubilee, this couple got the coldest reception and booed into oblivion. Seriously, I can't look at this woman's awful hat without thinking about these Pringle chips. But back to what I was saying, after the Jubilee, what did they do when they came back to the United States? More deflection. They released a picture of Lilibet, and then, let's not forget, they popped up. They allegedly popped up a year ago in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for July 4th, which had me thinking that this guy that's supposed to be Harry in this photo reminds me of the guy that we're seeing today in these photos that Meghan had staged. I never believed that the guy in the photos last year in Jackson Hole were of Harry. When I looked at his hairline, as you can see here in the top photos where the arrow is, there is a weird straight hairline that goes directly across. Now, when you look at the bottom three photos of the real Harry, you can see that the hairline looks nothing like the hairline at the top. So when you see today's photos of Harry wearing a ball cap and glasses, it reminds me of the same setup that they had last year. I don't trust Meghan for 1 second. The fact that she had to stage this and set this up to make it look like her and her husband are living the best life ever in California, to me, is quite sad and pathetic. Whether or not that's Harry, I mean, it's anybody's guess, but I wouldn't put it past her and Harry to have doppelgangers because they're so paranoid and delusional that people are watching them and stalking them that I wouldn't put it past them to have body doubles in order to fool people. And I could see Meghan using the Harry body double to make it look like she is with her husband because for many days now, there have been articles that have been coming out saying that we never see Meghan and Harry together. And here we go. They pop up out of nowhere. Look, I get that Meghan has money to burn, but she's blowing it away on things that are making her just look worse. And by continuing to do these staged shoots, it just makes people realize how sick both of these two are and that they seriously need some help. It's not helping the brand, it's not helping their image, and people are seeing how fake these two really are. It's not helping. Stop. I want to finish off this video with this article from the Sunday Times. I think this author, Hadley Freeman, summarized how we all see Meghan. Like Meghan really fumbled the bag. And for those that have never heard of that saying before, it's when you majorly F up something. And this is probably the ultimate fumble. Before I finish out this video with this article, if you liked what you've seen so far, please help the kid out and give a thumbs up. Hopefully this will be shared with more people. Thank you to everyone for all your support. Now, let me get on with it. In the 5 years since the wedding, a whole industry of revisionist history has emerged in which famous women are reevaluated invariably more favorably than they were 20 or 30 years ago. Courtney Love wasn't crazy, she was cool. Monica Lewinsky wasn't a slut, she was exploited. Ditto Pamela Anderson, and so on. How strange, then, to be Meghan and to find oneself reevaluated so quickly and so negatively. I can date the precise moment when my own skeptical opinion about her began to develop. November 8th, 2020. Until that point, I described my feelings towards her as sympathetic with undercurrents of narcissism. I defended her when her appalling father conducted his British media tour, castigating her for not being nicer to him. I liked that she was, hey, like me, an American woman with a British husband. And I kidded myself I could imagine how it felt to be the object of so much hysterical media attention so suddenly. I cheered when she and Harry did their flit from the royal family. Save yourself from having to spend another Christmas in freezing Balmoral, Meghan. Go live your best life in sunny California. But on November 8th, 2020, as the world was still in the depths of COVID, I got a glimpse of what Meghan's best life was when she and her husband staged a photo shoot at the Los Angeles National Cemetery. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, their spokesman explained, wanted to be able to personally recognize Remembrance Day in their own way. Just a little intimate gesture between the two of them, the dead soldiers and the global media. I couldn't blame Harry for his gaucheness because he knew of no other way to live. But Meghan, come on, man, I thought. What are you doing simulating sad face in front of a photographer now that you finally escaped the cage? You had 3 and a bit decades before you became famous. Don't you want to go back to a normal life? Isn't that why you left the royal family? Everything she has done since then has proven that no, she absolutely does not want a normal life. From fighting to keep her children's royal titles to releasing ludicrous statements about a car chase in New York that never happened, it is seemingly clear that what Meghan actually wants is to be a celebrity. Far from providing her hapless husband with the normality many of us thought they both craved, it looked in their Netflix documentary like she encouraged his sense of grievance and paranoia, frequently pointing out slights from outsiders and invisible paparazzi. Her heyday coincided with a weird moment in social justice when identity politics became a source of grievance, hawking, and self promotion, and there were a few better examples of that than Archetypes, the one program the couple made for Spotify. In this, Meghan promised to investigate, dissect, and subvert the labels that hold women back, without any sense of irony given how much her own success exceeded her talents. The more she talked, the harder it became to defend her as she complained about the smallness of her freebie home and wafted on about her truth. No one would argue that the royal family is a beacon of racial progressiveness, but her repeated implication that Britain is more riddled with racism than the US doesn't feel like anyone else's truth except hers. The Spotify executive Bill Simmons recently described Harry and Meghan as grifters, but that's not quite right. Harry is a hothouse royal who is learning too late that he has nothing to offer the world but his royalty. Meghan is a product of her own era, in that she has the entitlement of a celebrity, but the talents of a nobody. Other people with such attributes will go into reality TV or influencing. The great irony of Meghan's life is that, against all odds, she found her way to the royals, the perfect pedestal for a narcissist. The great tragedy is she believed she could do better and walked away. The best she can hope for is that her truth blinds her to the reality of how wrong she was. In my opinion, this was extremely well written and hit the nail on the head in summarizing what we all have witnessed and can see what Meghan is really all about. I have to agree with the author. I do think that Meghan and Harry are a product of their generation. Now, I'm not saying all millennials are selfish and narcissistic, but there's a good bunch that think about just themselves. And there's a reason why the millennials are nicknamed the me generation, because they're all about themselves on social media. So when you look at Meghan and the friends that she associates with and their activity and how they behave in society, you recognize that Meghan represents all the things we hate about this generation, from being selfish, from being inconsiderate, from being narcissistic, and just completely fake. A lot of these influencers post stuff up about their lives that is not even real. It's like they're living in this fantasy world online. As we have seen and learned from Meghan, she is an empty, vacuous vessel with nothing to offer. Her sense of entitlement and expectation for doing nothing is astounding, and it's why people don't like her. It has nothing to do with her skin color. It has everything to do with her bratty attitude and the horrible way that she treats people. In my opinion, she's just a horrible human being. And it doesn't matter how many staged paparazzi shoots that she does, clearly it bothers her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have to go through this exercise to try and convince the world everything is fine. When you have to do something like this, you know that it's not. Anyhow, that's all I have for you today. Sorry about the mini rant, but what do you guys think? I mean, it's laughable. Like I am now making fun of this because she looks so stupid and foolish and desperate. It's not a good look, Megan. It really isn't. Anyhow, leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content, but until then, please be safe and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It was such a fraud.